Dear Diary, despite the result, I haven't panicked since Glentoran absolutely stole points of us in the Bel Classico. Can't wait to get revenge on those. We have stuck to our new plan and got back on track with wins in all games since then. So we are still top of the league, but with some teams still having games in hand, including Larne. Linfield were beaten to the Premiership by these guys last season, so it would be nice to set things straight in our first meeting, especially as they are probably a bit tired playing catch up after European qualifying. Let's pick up another W. Until next time. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 23 of FMOE here on Shaun Does FM with Linfield, and coming up today we play a league game in the middle of September against the team who so far this season it has been a little bit hard to get a line on off the back of them having quite a deep run in European qualifying, and that team is the defending champions here in Northern Ireland in Larne. So if you're looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But as mentioned in the intro, off the back of that absolute robbery which did happen in yesterday's episode in the Bel Classico, if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it in the top right corner. Definitely still haven't gotten over that one, but we've kept to the script in terms of that change in formation off the back of what we had done previously in European qualifying as well as at Banbridge Town, and we did get back on track, picking up a 4-1 win against Newington Youth in the County Antrim Shield first round, and off the back of that, back in the Premiership we picked up a 3-1 win against the Dungannon Swifts. So it does mean that we do still remain in top spot in the league, albeit joint there with Crusaders, who do have a game in hand, so that could change off the back of this upcoming match week if we do not pick up any points as we do travel to take on Larne. And as mentioned yesterday and in the intro, they are the defending champions here in Northern Ireland. I think they actually said they were the defending champions from both seasons we've played so far in the save. Now I can see that is not the case, because Glentoran did win it back in 2022-23, and before then it was pretty solid Linfield domination. But today our focus is on Larne. They are a club pretty similar in stature to us here at Linfield, and they did start themselves off in Champions League qualifying this season. That is why they are a little bit behind in terms of games played in comparison to other teams here in Northern Ireland, albeit if we have a look at their schedule, you will see exactly what has happened with those guys so far this season. They made their way through to the second qualifying round of the Champions League, then managed to win a Europa League third round qualifier before they did lose in a Europa League playoffs. So that does mean they are in the league phase for the Conference League this coming season. So hopefully editing Shaun's taken care of that, because I think I mentioned in the diary intro that it was unsuccessful. Just a reminder for editing Shaun, get rid of that one. But off the back of them making the league phase of the Conference League, they did start off life in the League Cup here in Northern Ireland, also that County Antrim Shield, which is a bit of an interesting competition, and have played 3 games in the Premiership. In and around that, they have picked up 2 draws against the Carrick Rangers and Glentoran. The first of those definitely a bit of a surprise in terms of drop points, and then off the back of that they did get on track with a 2-0 win against the Dungannon Swifts. So I think it is fair to say in terms of domestic football, they have got off to a little bit of a sketchy start, but based on the fact that they're going to be in the league phase of a European competition this season, definitely a team which warrants a ton of respect. In terms of us going into this game, you may have spotted it before over on the home page, we are going to be missing 2 of our starters due to injury and illness. As you would have seen in yesterday's episode, Niall Quinn, he picked up a twisted ankle. He's nearly back, but not quite right for this game. So that does mean that Charlie Sayers is going to be starting at left back, and also at centre back we are going to start the former Arsenal man there in Mazid Agumbo, the Irish 21-year-old, will partner Loeb there at centre back, and hopefully those guys can step in nicely and get us a decent result here away at Larne. Obviously, a win would be nice while those guys are trying to play catch up domestically, but also away from home. A draw would not be the worst result. Hopefully we can pick up some points and try and keep ourselves in a good position here to challenge for the title like the board do expect here at Linfield. And we've also made a few changes to the bench as well, as you can see down there in that bottom right corner, just changing things over the course of the last few games played, dropping players like Matty Lund off the back of that invisible tackle that he made in yesterday's episode. But I think the bench does look quite strong these days here at Linfield, so hopefully they can provide some good impact if needed, and we'll get into the action off the back of the Stinger as we take on Larne here from Inver Park in the Premiership. And at the 23-minute mark, we have our first highlight of this game so far. In terms of stats, we have been the better team, you'd argue, but free kick here for Miller. He pole drives that one into the bottom left corner, albeit with quite a bit of help from the crossbar, it did look like. And the first highlight of the game does see Larne take a 1-0 lead here at home, and maybe they are starting to find their gear here in domestic football. It's a wonderful free kick, and off the back of a decent start, yet again, we go 1-0 down. And that is half time in the game in today's episode. Hopefully we get a bit more action in the second half, because otherwise don't really know what the plan is. As you can see, quite an even first half in terms of stats, but Larne did get into it off the back of that free kick where they did take that 1-0 lead. But apart from that, it does feel like this is a game which probably should be all square. A few players did pick up yellow cards in that first half, so because of that, we are going to make some changes. Connor Pepper can come on for Kemi Logan. Also, Mazida Gumbo not doing well on a 6-point free, so Jimmy Calica can come on for him, and hopefully that will solidify things at the back just a little bit. But fair to say that first half was not full of too much action. Actually, while we're here, we might also take off Kemi Palmer on that yellow card and bring on Jake Kane. But a very, very quiet first half. But we get the second one underway, 1-0 behind. And only a few minutes into the second half, it's a free kick here for Larne. As we know, we've been a bit iffy from these in this game and also in yesterday's episode. And it's another penalty given away. This time it's a push from Logue. And this gives Larne the chance to get a cushion goal early in the second half. Bolger, he puts that bottom right corner. Johns did go the right way, but he couldn't stop it. And now we are in trouble here as we do take on Larne. We give away another soft penalty. Bolger puts that one away and makes it 2-0. And up to the hour mark, we are still 2-0 down. I think it's time for us to take off a few attacking players who are struggling out there in terms of their ratings. Jordan Stewart and Robbie McDade on 6-point frees. McCausland will go into the attacking midfielder, and Chris McKee up front as we look to try and get this game back to all square in the next half hour. And a few minutes off the back of those changes, we might actually have a highlight here that is in our favour. Pepper will put this one into the mixer from a corner as Banbridge Town do score a goal, but we don't worry about that because they're still getting beaten. It's a sloppy effort there from the Larne goalkeeper, and McKee tucks that one away at the far post, comes off the bench and immediately makes an impact. It's a sloppy goal, but we'll take it, and that makes it 2-1. Only a few minutes off the back of that goal, which we did get back, it's now a free kick, which we put at far post, and Jimmy Calica off the bench is also going to grab a goal. Ferguson having some absolute issues here in the latter part of this game, and just like that, we might have grabbed the momentum in this one as we make it 2-2 after being 2-0 down early in this half, and now it is well and truly game on. And a few minutes off the back of us grabbing that equaliser, we are now down the other end. Larne here do a throw inside the final third. It's a late tackle there from Kane, and I know what's going to happen here. He decided it was going to be the big red machine, and because of that, he is going to get a big old red card, and now we are down to 10 men. In terms of what we are going to change here, I don't think we're going to change too much. It just means we're going to play a normal midfielder alongside of our defensive midfielder and might get rid of the attacking one. So because of that, we are going to pull McCausland back there into the regular midfield. He is more suited though to being in an attacking role, I do see. So because of that, I think Fallon is going to drop back into that midfield role. We'll put him on to a box-to-box on support, I think. Also go to a cautious mentality, might be the best option, and hopefully we can hold on to this draw at the very least with just over 10 minutes left. And we enter the last 5 minutes of this game. We do have a free kick here in a dangerous area. If we can pinch a win here, that would be one heck of a result after being 2-0 down early in the second half, as well as going down to 10 men. Logie will try and put that one top left corner. It comes off the post. Cooper with a shot, but it goes over the bar. We are trying to test the goalkeeper, as we've seen. He has been a little bit iffy so far in the second half, but now as we are about to enter injury time in this game, it is a goal kick to Larne. They hoof that one deep, but Sayers there with not a bad little ball looking away from where he was aiming that. We hoof that one forward looking for McKee, but Larne will get that ball back as well, so it does look like at the moment it's a little bit route one from both teams, and now Logue will hoof that one up to the Larne defence. We're starting to pick them here inside their own half at least for the time being, but now Bird will play this one over the top for Casey, and all of a sudden this looks a bit more dodgy, albeit Sayers there should have controlled that. It's a shocker from Sayers. Moore takes advantage of it, squares that for Doherty, who is one-on-one with the keeper, heads that into the bottom right corner, and Sayers' mistake there might have cost us a valuable point as we went down to 10 men, controlled it well there, but for some reason tried to turn away, and he was a bit slow. Moore grabs hold of that and puts that ball in for Doherty. We have to go attacking, I think, off the back of that, as we have 5 minutes of injury time, and it's a corner in the 94th minute. We put this one far post. No one home, but Fallon has the ball inside the box. McKee with the equaliser, and we might still grab a point here with 10 minutes. A sloppy goal. Fallon's ball took a big deflection, does the Carlton, and can rightfully do it as well, because that is potentially quite a big goal here in this clash, and it might keep Larne just stuttering a little bit to start off their season domestically. Big deflection, but we'll take it. It's a simple header home there for McKee, who now has 2 goals off of the bench, and it does mean that despite the fact we were 2-0 down early in that first half, and also that red card to Kane, with around about 10 minutes left, we come from behind twice in that game and pick up a 3-3 draw. In terms of stats, I dare say we were also the better team, even though Larne did get on the front foot early in that one through those first 2 highlights that we did see up until around the hour mark. But that is definitely a good result considering the circumstances there, as we pick up a 3-3 draw away at Larne with 10 men. And back in the inbox off the back of that absolutely insane game, definitely one of the better ones that we have played so far in this save, and thankfully that red card to Kane did not prove too costly, and we come back in injury time to grab an equaliser there. Good impact from McKee off of the bench with those 2 goals, and it does mean that we do actually stay in first spot on the table alongside Glentoran thanks to goal differential, but yet again we do have to emphasise that Crusaders do still have a game in hand, so those guys could jump above us, but Larne now are still potentially capable of catching us up at the top of the table, but they wouldn't quite do the job. They'd still be joint with Crusaders, as they are only on 6 points after their first 4 games, so they are just starting the season a little bit slowly, I think it is fair to say, as they do also focus on Europe, which is fair enough off the back of qualifying for the league phase of the Conference League, and also for our next game, which we should get by without any issues, taking on Cliftonville. Jake Kane is going to be unavailable off the back of that absolutely filthy tackle that did earn him a big filthy red card, but also we're not too far away from getting 2 of our better players back in Noel Quinn and Porty O'Connor as well. So considering that as well, that was not the worst result away at the defending champions. But I think that will do it for today's episode. Heck of a game, which ended in a 3-3 draw. If you did enjoy that one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well to start off next week. We'll just go forward and have a quick look at the schedule, but going down into the month of October, we might actually come back before then for that potential top of the table-ish clash, as we do host Crusaders, because they have started the season off quite nicely. So that could be a game we come back for, and we might actually make it a double header, as off the back of that is one of the cup competitions that the board actually care about here at Linfield, and it's quite an interesting one as well. We take on Arblof in the 3rd round of the Challenge Cup. The reason this is quite an interesting competition is it is a multi-nation one. If we go over and have a look at the teams, you can see all the teams from the Scottish Championship, League 1, League 2, as well as the Premiership Reserve League are in this competition, but alongside them, the top 2 teams from Wales. So in this case, that is the New Saints and Gap Connors K, and alongside them, the top 2 teams from last season in the Northern Irish Premiership, and that is how we have earned our way into this competition. The board do expect us in this one to be competitive, but as you can see in terms of the other cup competitions, it is one of the ones they do actually care about a little bit, so hopefully we can live up to that and get the job done over Arbroath. But if we have a look at those guys, are in the championship in Scotland and are in second place as well, a club with a slightly higher reputation than us, so it'll be interesting to see how this new tactic gets on against those guys. Of course, the last time we took on a team with that reputation was in Conference League qualifying against that Polish outfit earlier this week, and they absolutely thumped us when we were playing the 4-4-2, so that could also be an interesting game coming up at the start of next week. So we'll start off with a double header in the league taking on Crusaders, and off at the back of that in this Challenge Cup in the third round as we take on Arbroath from the Scottish Championship. So until then, thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.